Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys are having a great week and a great day. We have a couple of good things to talk about here. Markets have been pretty sideways as far as U.S. markets go. Oil seems to be on the incline a little bit. Gold's declining nicely. Dow and S&P are slowly making their way up. The S&P actually broke 1500 today. It got to about 1501, I think, 02, somewhere in that general area. Made a nice little run. You can see the Dow's just about back up to 14,000. So, things are making a pretty decent little comeback here. As far as news goes, we don't have anything out for the rest of the day. We have no afternoon surprise Australian or yen announcements scheduled. Doesn't mean they can't happen, but we have nothing scheduled there. And then coming into the UK session, we have the German IFO, which will be at 1 a.m. Pacific tonight. Let's keep an eye out for that. And then we have the preliminary GDP for the UK just a half hour after that. So those can both be pretty decent movers. So definitely watch those. And then at 5:30, we have CPI. Tomorrow morning for the US Open, we have CPI for Canada, and then just a little bit after that we have new home sales for the US. So let's have a little look at what is going on here. Trendline break on the euro dollar. Didn't get me super excited about getting into anything because very choppy. We made just the slightest little break of this high right here, which is the weekly high, about 133.70. You can see it ran up a couple of pips, 20 pips, all the way back down. Here's what I'm looking for on the euro dollar. I think we're going to get a double top here, which we basically did get. That's just shy of 13400. The high of this got to about 133.90, looks like about 92. So overall that turned out pretty nice. And basically what I'm looking for is I want to see a dip down to about the 133.40, 50 area, and I'm going to be looking for an entry to get long right there. So I think we're still in some chop. We're definitely not out of the chop. We're not out of the daily range, but I'm going to look for that little dip into that, weekly range. I'm going to look for a dip into that 133.40, 50 area and look for an opportunity to buy the euro dollar back up into 13400, give or take. As far as the long-term charts go, there's really nothing too exciting going on except for the thing that I keep talking about, which is the reversal candle here with a high on the weekly chart with a high of 134.03 from last week, and this current weekly candle has a high of 133.92. So it's really only about 10 pips below that high. This high is currently 10 pips below the high of last week, so that reversal candle is still in play, and we could still get a nice reversal off of 13400. So keep that in mind. But for the meantime, I'm just looking to kind of buy off this little area right here. I think we'll have a nice little run. So again, about 133.40, 50. See, I just have 133.45 there, kind of splitting it in half, but in that general area I'll be looking to get long. As the daily videos I've said in the last couple of days, if I had to take a wild guess which way this thing was going, I'd bet up, and we finally did get a little break up, but it's been kind of a choppy disaster getting there, so I haven't been too excited to trade the euro dollar much lately. Pound dollar has been moving nicely. The pound, well, let me qualify that statement. We had some nice moves last week, and then this entire week has been just an absolute chop. Sideways consolidation, nothing too exciting going on here. And then we finally got this break of 15800, ran down here. We talked about this, ran down here to about 157.50. What's our low there? About 157.56, and now it's bouncing just a little bit. So what I'm looking at, you can see that I've got some lines and some things drawn in here. What I'm looking at is from this high to this low. I'm just watching kind of this first little level here. We're sitting at the I have a couple of fib levels actually drawn in here. This is a different fib level, but this is also the 23% fib from the shorter time frame. Forgot that I had that bigger one there. Let me get rid of that real quick because it'll be important to see what we're looking at here. So what we have here is the 23% fib. Now remember, if we get a break of the 23%, which we've basically gotten, we have about a 15 to 20 pip run up into that 38%. And the 38%, which is also right around that 15800, strong support, now should be good resistance, is actually where I'd like to buy, or sell. I'd like to short right around this area, get some stops up above these highs right here. You can see it's about 158.50 area. I think this is going to be a good area to short the pound dollar, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. So, so that's one thing that we can do and kind of keep an eye on and look for. In the meantime, you know, it's broken through pretty key support. It looks like it should be able to continue down very nicely. We've broken this big trend line, and it's been running nicely since. So let's try to get short just above 158.00 and ride that thing on down. Aussie dollar. This thing has done some interesting stuff. We ended up making quite the big run down on this Aussie dollar. Really looked like it was going to break this weekly area, and it just hasn't been able to. It's held on very nicely. We're now coming into contact with this big trend line right here, this big guy right there, and that's going to be some pretty decent support. Now I'm on the daily chart here. The low of December and the high of January, that little run, which was a pretty significant one, yeah, I guess not too huge. It's only 250 pips, but a decent little move nonetheless. We are coming into contact with an ascending trend line, a long-term, big, strong, tough ascending trend line, and 61.8% fib. So just for the record, I'm keeping my eyes really open here on 104.40, 40.50 as a as a possible turning point on this Aussie dollar. You can see we got a low of 104.50 exactly. I think we might be able to retest that, maybe bottom out a little bit down there, and then turn and start making a bit of a run up. So I think that's a possibility. So I'm looking. I'll look for some bottoming out. I'll look for some reversal candles. We have a pretty nice one right here. This is a great looking little hammer. We've run down very nicely, and if that can hold, again, that low being 104.50, and you can see that we're just here at about 104.60. If this level holds, this could really turn out to be a nice little run. But I'm just looking at the fact that this is kind of coming down and it's looking a little bit heavy still. Lots of selling pressure. So I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on this, see what happens, see where it goes. But I may be looking to get long right around 104.40, 50 on the Aussie dollar. So just keep that in mind. Yen pairs are kind of all running. Euro yen running up to the double top. Not excessively concerned with that. Aussie yen kind of doing its thing. Pound yen. All the yen pairs are kind of running. Dollar yen is up to double top as well. One thing that I am very interested in, watch this dollar Swiss franc, 92.75, strong support. We may be able to buy off that level, especially if the euro starts to come down a little bit. I'll be looking for a buy off this level. Otherwise, I'm looking for a big sell off this through this breakout. If we break this level, I think we've got a nice run down into into about 9,200, 91.80. I think we've got an 80 to 100 pip run down if we break 92.75. So I'm keeping an eye on that and looking for that setup to happen. So we should have a good one there. We have lots of great setups, good things in the works. Let me know if you have any questions, comments about anything. I'll be in the chat. And you can also follow me on Twitter at DayTradersFX. Thanks a bunch, everyone. We'll see you in the chat. Good luck.